If I come through and my trail shoulder stays too high as I go forward, see how that gets my club path too far over the top. When my trail shoulder goes down, that allows the club to work more from inside. So if it was just forward, just by itself with no down, my head would go too far forward, the path would be too far over the top, I'd hit pulls and fades. Now I also can't just go down, right? If I just went straight down, that would shallow out my club path, but I'd hit way behind the ball. I'd never get to the golf ball. So I have to blend the trail shoulder down and forward. Hey guys, just want to give a special shout out to our sponsors, Municipal. You guys see me wearing the hats and the shirts in all of these videos. They've been a great partner for us, and I absolutely love all of the clothing. And really, they're just getting better and better and better. They're dropping new gear all the time. Some of it's in limited quantity. So if you want to go check that out and you like it, make sure you grab that right away. They've got a new line of golf apparel coming out, but they don't have just the golf stuff. I'm also wearing the Municipal things really everywhere. I wear the shorts and t-shirts to the gym. The hoodies that they have are like the most comfortable thing, the hoodies and the sweatpants. So it's really stuff that I can wear and you can wear when you're going to play golf, but it's also casual. I mean, I could leave the golf course, be at home, go to the gym. Absolutely love the Municipal gear. If you haven't tried any of it before, grab a polo, grab a Municipal hat. You're gonna absolutely love their gear. We'll put the link in the description down below. All right guys, in today's video, we're gonna talk about how you can drive your trail shoulder forward towards the target and why that's so important for solid contact and being able to swing from inside. Let me quick show you what I mean, then we'll come back and I'll show you how to do it yourself. Okay, two key trail shoulder moves here. On the left, we have the line on the back of the shoulder. This is gonna show you the forward component. The forward component of the shoulder towards the target helps with the low point, the contact. On the right is going to show the vertical component, which is the trail shoulder lowering during the downswing, which is going to help keep the club path from inside. So on the left, relative to where the trail shoulder starts, you'll see initially it works slightly away from the target, but from the takeaway to the top, you'll see the trail shoulder works up and back towards the target relative to where it started. And then from there, the whole time it's going to be working forward towards the target. Now the key checkpoint is by the time the arm gets parallel to the ground in the follow through, we want to have the trail shoulder even with or past the golf ball. So how far forward does it need to go and when? It should get even with or past where the golf ball was, which is represented by the bottom line, by the time about the arm is parallel to the ground. Now on the right one, we're going to notice the lowering component. So during the downswing, you're going to notice the trail shoulder is going to be lower than where it started. That's the piece that helps keep the club path from inside. Notice the trail shoulder goes underneath the wall that it started on, and that's because he has more right side bend than he started. So we'll see the same thing. The trail shoulder goes up and back towards the target, up away from the ground and back towards the target. And then it goes down and forward the entire way during the downswing. Let me show you how you can do this in your own swing. Okay, so as we saw there with the video there with the trail shoulder, obviously relative to the starting position, that trail shoulder works a little bit away from the target during the initial takeaway, but really the main component is it's working up and towards the target during the backswing. And from that position, it's working gradually forward towards the target the entire downswing. Now, the reason it's so important to drive your trail shoulder forward is because that helps with your low point control, solidness of contact, hitting the ball first and the ground second, right? Now, the checkpoint we like to use for that, if I just put a stick here in line with the golf ball, of how far forward does it need to go, we like to feel and think about the trail shoulder getting even with the golf ball line by about the time that the arms are parallel to the ground. So let's hit one from there, normal setup position. The shoulder goes up and back, but the whole way I'm driving it forward towards the target. And I'll show you a drill a little later on, and we'll talk about the downward component, but trail shoulder forward past the ball. That's gonna be piece number one for solidness of contact. But now, as I drive my trail shoulder forward, I can go up with it, down with it, or keep the same level. And as we saw from the down the line angle, relative to the line that I start on, that trail shoulder is going to go underneath that on the way down. Now, why is that important? If I come through and my trail shoulder stays too high as I go forward, see how that gets my club path too far over the top. When my trail shoulder goes down, that allows the club to work more from inside. So if it was just forward, just by itself with no down, my head would go too far forward, the path would be too far over the top, I'd hit pulls and fades. Now I also can't just go down, right? If I just went straight down, that would shallow out my club path, but I'd hit way behind the ball. I'd never get to the golf ball. So I have to blend the trail shoulder down and forward. Forward to the point where it gets past the original ball line, and down to the point where it's under where I started. I imagine a little wall where my right shoulder is, and I want to go underneath that through impact. So let's hit one with just those feels, and then we'll talk about my favorite drill for this. So the shoulder goes down and forward the entire downswing. Down and forward. And those are two good strikes. Now, from a drill and a feel perspective, right, obviously we can use video for this, and if we were working together, we would videotape your swing and look at you relative to those checkpoints. Like we draw a line with the ball and say, hey, are you getting your shoulder forward enough of that? And from down the line, we draw a line on the shoulder and say, hey, get your shoulder underneath that. But from a feel perspective, I've tried a lot of right shoulder drills and feels, right? And I still like this one as my favorite one. If you put a club across your shoulders and have the club head just to the right of your shoulder, during the downswing, you want to feel like you get the club head to the golf ball. So when you look down at it, from your point of view, my club head actually feels right behind the golf ball. So my shoulder going down is that right side bend. My right shoulder going closer to my hip. That's the sensation I'm getting. A little bit of a right side crunch. And the forward component is the rotation, right? I'm blending those two motions so that shoulder goes, I'm driving that down and forward. Now, if you're driving it down and forward and you're getting like pulls and fades, that means you're coming too far over plane. You need more of the down component, That'll help swing from inside. That'll be more like push and draw. Now, if you're doing the forward shoulder component and you're hitting behind the ball too many fats and thins, you need more of the forward component. If you have too much push and draw, more of the forward component. Too many fats and thins, more of the forward component. So you're blending those two together and figuring out which one you need more of based on your ball pattern. So what I would do practice-wise is club across, 1 or 2 reps, club head to the ball, club head to the ball. I feel that right shoulder crunching and getting at or past the golf ball. So right shoulder crunching, down and forward. And that's gonna really help you feel. I mean, that's as good as I can hit. I know you guys like when I say that, but that is as good as I can hit it. You're really gonna feel like your body motion is controlling the motion. This trail rib cage gets down towards the golf ball. I feel a little bit of an oblique crunch as I'm opening, right? The shoulder going forward helps me with rotation. My belt buckle, my rib cage is pointed at the target, but now with my shoulder and head back, they're traveling slightly down and forward, as we can see in those videos. Let's do one more. Shoulder goes down and forward. Yeah, and those are solid. So shoulder down and forward. Hopefully that gives you guys a good visual. If you're still struggling with your swing, we are going to open some in-person lessons down here. Obviously it's going to be beautiful down here in Florida in the wintertime. If you want to come see me down here, we'll put that in the second link down below. If you can't make it for in-person lessons, we'd love to coach you online, cogornogolf.com/free trial. You can send your swings in, we'll work together. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below.